You've been told to think good thoughts, raise your frequency. Oh, here's another one. Announce your goals to hold yourself accountable. Mhm. And yet, you're still stuck. You're still frustrated, and you're still not where you want to be. I'm going to tell you why. Here you go. Your nervous system doesn't care. It doesn't give 2 cents about what you say you want. It only lets you attract what it believes it is safe to have. What? Yeah, safety. And if your body, your biology is screaming, this isn't safe, this isn't safe, you will repel success no matter how many affirmations you chant. So here's what I'd like you to throw into the chat. Who here has tried manifestation techniques and felt like a failure? Law of attraction felt like you failed or more stuck than successful ever? Let me know. Yeah. Me too. Me too. I tried all that. Yep. 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 Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, let me know if you're ready to learn the truth. Drop a fire. Because I'm going to bring the heat. I am not for the weak. Here we go. Here's what they don't teach you in most goal-setting courses. Attraction isn't mental, it's biological. Your body is wired through something we call neuroception. Now, this is a subconscious surveillance system that's constantly asking everywhere, am I safe or am I under threat? And if your system perceives stress, threat, fear, or the worst, shame, even subtly, your nervous locks down. And then you move into what's called survival mode and you contract. So I'm going to ask you to mute yourself because I'm hearing some noise. And I'm going to ask you in the chat, which nervous system state do you think you fall into the most? Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn? Be honest, just type it in the chat. First thing, I fight. That's my first reaction. This is an involuntary reflex that is established in utero. You don't have any control over it, you guys. Okay? And it tells you a lot about what, how you are. And that's okay. It's okay. Hardwired. I'm looking at the chat. Love to see it. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So here's the thing. When you contract, though, when you get hard like that, you're no longer a magnet. You're a wall. Everything just bounces right off of you. Okay. You can't attract in that state. And here's what happens with the law of attraction. It's fantasy. And you can't attract from fantasy. We attract from state. State. Okay. And the state you're in is either regulated or dysregulated. So I'm going to say it a little clearer. I'm going to say it again. Clear. Let me say it clear. You don't attract what you think. You attract what your nervous system believes you're safe enough to hold. And if you've been living in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn for decades, believe it or not, success actually feels threatening to your biology. So you're going to what we call sabotage it, ghost it, avoid it, delay it, pick a word. And here's the quote. Because receiving feels like danger. I'm going to let that one sit there for a minute. Receiving feels like danger. So first,
Alam mo.
we must regulate. Then we're able to activate. Many of you are skipping the regulate part. That's why you can't activate. All right. So I'm going to probably make somebody kind of mad right now. Maybe a lot of people, because I don't like the concept of barf parrots. Parrots repeat what they hear, and some parrots repeat vomit. And it comes from the idea of invest, learn, teach. I love invest, learn, teach, ILT. I invest in things, I learn it, and then I teach it. It's the best way to learn. However, a lot of times in things that we invest in and learn are nonsense. So I'm gonna share with you some nonsense, so I hopefully can stop the spreading of misinformation in the network marketing field, because it drives me cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Okay, here we go. I hope none of you repeat any of this. I know I'm going to make some people mad. Wait for it. This is one of the biggest lies I constantly see being repeated in this industry. Quote unquote, you should share your goals with others because it increases your chances of success by, pick a number, 35%, 66%, 75%. I've heard them all. Some of you have heard this, right? Some of you on this call have actually said this. I'm sorry. You were lied to. I'm gonna tell you the truth, because that stat is totally fake. Fake, fake, fake. It came from a so-called Harvard-Yale study that actually never happened. It never happened. There is no study where people quote where they say 3% of grads wrote down the goals and made 10 times as more money. It is urban myth. It is totally made up. It's been debunked by Harvard psychologists, researchers, psychologists, librarians. It's been debunked a million times. But somebody doesn't know that unless they sit around in the research and actually study this stuff, because they heard it from 3 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago in a mastermind or a training or whatever. And some great guru said it, so they keep repeating it. But here's what is actually real, what you need to understand. In 2007, they did a study at the Dominican University. Dr. Gail Matthews headed it up, and she looked at different types of goal setting. This is what she actually found that is fact. People who wrote their goals down and reported progress weekly had better results. About 76% follow-through results. Here's the big catch that everybody doesn't want to say. That is the fact. Just telling someone your goal with no action plan actually decreases success. Okay? Because this came out of NYU psychologist Peter Gollwitzer. He ran multiple studies, so many, proving that when you publicly announce a goal, tell somebody about it, post about it, say it in a chat, put it somewhere, your brain releases dopamine as if you already accomplished it. Yeah. So what does that mean? In other words, what it means is you get a hit of satisfaction, a dopamine reward pleasure center like situation, just from talking about it. So what happens? You don't actually do anything. I need that to sink in, because I'm going against all the training I'm hearing all the time in network marketing and MLM, in the orientation. I don't care. You need to know the truth of how this actually works. I want you to be better. I want you to get better, feel better, be better. Lying to you isn't going to get it done. All right? So I'm going to say it again. Talking about your goals tricks your brain into thinking you've already won. So what do? You stop, you delay, you coast. That's why many of you, and I deal with this on my team too, are addicted to planning, scripting, vision boarding. But you're not addicted to doing. You're in love with potential, but not performance. So I'm going to be real direct. I'm going to say it again. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Start doing it. And what you do then is you let the results after you've become the person who earned them speak for themselves. So I'm going to ask you to go into the chat. Have you ever felt proud of yourself just for announcing something? Oh, here's my resolution. Here's what I'm going to do. I've committed to this. I've signed up. But you never followed through, right? Type guilty. If it hits you, I'm guilty. Guilty. Whoop, whoop. Guilty. Guilty. If I never did this, I made the mistake. I would have many books published by now. But I announced it publicly. I ruined myself by doing this. Ruined. Okay. So I'm going to ground some of what I'm saying in real life. I'm going to bring up these three incredible people, all of whom I did not know before this, and I cannot imagine my life without them. I don't care whatever happens. Riemann could burn to the ground tomorrow. I'm not losing Brianna Michaels, Susan Manuelo, or Tim Hargett. So first thing, I would like to bring up Bree to share a little bit of a testimonial. So they're all going to give like a 1-minute thing about like what we would call law of attraction, but I'm saying that's all nonsense and BS. But the concept of, Bree, share with them how this all started, whatever you want to share about our little story and how this all came together and what you did. And then we'll bring on Susan and then we'll bring on Tim.
I've already taken a page of notes you're blowing my mind. It's like you put a bow on it for me. Like I just had an aha moment tonight that clicked. So I can't even tell you what's going to happen coming out of this. I feel it. So yeah, this happened because I was like, you want to hear something really crazy about the law of attraction? I'm sure Stephanie's like, uh-huh.
Excited. I was excited. Yes.
And I was like, this is so crazy. So at the beginning of the year, I was like, you map out your goals. And I had three goals. One of them was, I'm going to build a team in the Philippines. And I was like, I don't know why the Philippines. I was like, I just feel like I'm going to. And I didn't even know where the Philippines was on a map. I didn't know any Filipinos. I didn't even know what language they spoke there. So I don't it could have been like Bali, it could have been Malaysia, it could have been any country. I just picked the Philippines. And it's really amazing what has unfolded because the first thing I did is I always like to ask myself questions like, well, if I was going to build in the Philippines, like where would I start? Who would I talk to? And so, I started looking in my own city and I was like, there's got to be Filipino groups or churches or something. So I actually found like a Filipino Chamber of Commerce and went and they had some events and where they play games and do like rowboat races and things like that. And then I met with their board members and I just like stood outside like a stalker outside of their board meeting and then asked if I could come in and talk to them. And you just find ways to figure it out. And then what happened is I met some incredible Filipinos through my friend Renee. I see Dr. Bella is on here tonight, and she's from the Philippines and she has, built in the Philippines before. And so we started making those connections. And then something else incredible happened where I have a friend, he's just a guy friend. He's like, I need to connect you with a friend of mine. She's been in network marketing, she's done really well, and she's built in the Philippines. And so anyways, I just ended up signing her up a few weeks ago. And I'm telling you, I was like, it's so crazy to me where I started with an idea that didn't really have any substance to it yet, but then it has turned into something. I was like, it's the law of attraction. I was like, it's the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And so now I think it's interesting how Stephanie's putting a pretty bow on it and explaining more about the psychological effects of it. And I went over a minute, so I'm going to pass it back to you so we can pass it to someone else.
I love it. So she, because I'm trying to keep it short, but what she did, what I pointed out to her, and I'll point out to you guys, She didn't sit around and go, I want to be in the Philippines. I want a team in the Philippines. Oh, please, baby Jesus, give me a team in the Philippines. That's not what she did. She said, so there was some inspired thought, which led to some inspired. She goes, I don't know why I thought that. Now listen, that's inspiration. That's intuition. That could be Holy Spirit. That could be, I don't know what that is, right? But something whispered and said to her, Philippines. And she was like, okay. And she listened. She listened and then she took inspired action. She came from a regulated, aligned place and it was like, what should I do? I need to find Filipinos. Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to go meet people. I'm going to go do something that makes sense from a regulated place, not panic from I'm open, I'm regulated. Let me see what I can do to get done. Pay attention to that. Okay.
I forgot to say the end of the story is I'm going to the Philippines next month, which for you guys is amazing because I want to help you and meet with your people, but I'm like, I'm going to the Philippines.
All the way to that. Yes, exactly. Okay. And she even did more than that. She recruited a bunch of us. We're going with her. And we're like, okay. Like literally in one phone call, I was like, sure, I'll go. You think I don't know anybody there, really. I got some staff there, like they're $4 an hour VAs, you guys. I got no connections. I'm like, girl, I'm going. She's like, and she's got now other people on my team are going. She's got a whole crew on board with the Philippines. She didn't know what she was doing. She started moving, but she jumped out of the plane before she had a parachute because she moved. I mean, that's a big thing. Susan, let's have you pop on.
Hello. You look so pretty in blue.
You, honey, where are you? I gotta find you.
Oh, I'm over here.
And it's weird because it doesn't make you big. I'm the big one.
I know. You have to pin me too,
Oh,
Bree.
how do if I could find you? I can't find you.
One of you guys find me.
I'm trying to find you. Did you pin her?
Oh,
There she is.
there we go.
I'll
Hi.
pin you.
Um, well, I kind of have like two quick things to share because, when we were talking about this, Bree, she was sharing this amazing story and reality, and we were like, oh my gosh, and it reminded me of my previous company. It was years ago. It was like 2014. I had a similar experience where I just had this dream of going to Australia. I had been in Australia one time when I was a Denver Bronco cheerleader. We went out there for the Pro Bowl, and I was like, I got to get back out here someday in my life. And so, enter in network marketing. I'm like, this is the best company ever, the best industry ever. Like, I got to get to Australia. I don't know how I'm going to get to Australia, but I got to figure this out. And like Dr. Rimka said, I wasn't just sitting there. At first, I was just sitting there like, Australia, Australia. But then I started to, put into practice something that I learned, like, who do you know that I need to know? I just kept asking that question to people that were around me. And not only in my team, but like people I knew, like business associates. And sure enough, one of my friends, she had a Zoom, we jumped on, and it was like a meeting she was putting together for something else. And she was like, but you know what? This girl Kate's going to be on there, and you were asking me about people from Australia, and she is in Australia. I think she does something similar to you. And sure enough, she was a top income earner in Arbonne. So I recruited her over and we built a huge team. Like day one, we put in so much volume. She went to just almost the top of the comp plan, one rank below the top of the comp plan in her first week of doing business. So it was so rewarding. And it was also one of those like moments where it was like, oh my gosh, like, and I went to Australia. So it was this very similar story.
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead.
No, I love it. No, what else to say? Say it.
Well, the second example, I just had one that's a little bit more current about hitting team leader because I know like that's maybe a little bit more relatable because it's like now, and a lot of you on this call are running towards that. And I just wanted to share with you guys that, if you know that that's your goal and you're working towards it, like don't, or whatever, maybe it's the 1000 SP, like whatever it is. That same kind of thing happened where it was February of last year. It was, short month. It was only 28 days. And I was so close. I needed one more senior manager. And it was about 1 o'clock that day. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'd been, following up. I had had product out and was following up with people, and it just wasn't happening. And I talked to Julian and I was like, I don't think it's happening. And he's like, what? There's tons of time in the day. And sure enough, I kept calling, and I had a friend of mine who I had done business with before, and she called me at about 6 o'clock and said, you know what? Why don't we go meet for a drink really quick? And long story short, she said, you know what? I want to do this with you. And she signed up, and she hit senior manager. So I hit team leader, and it was just like one of those, again, moments of like, you know, it's not just the thought, but it's putting action behind it, but it's like not giving up on your goal and what you're really envisioning for yourself.
I love that. What I'm going to say what Susan did is she said yes long before she was ready. That, okay? I want to do that. Now I want to bring up Tim. Now, Tim, where are you? Do you have okay, let me put the spotlight. Do you have, please tell me, we can play the video.
Yeah, do you want me to play that now or after?
Yeah, play the video now.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you do it, Bree? I'm going to do whatever you got to do, remove spotlight. Yeah. So I saw this in his story the other day, and I said, oh my God, stop me in my tracks. Now, Tim had told me we had met like at Las Vegas, and I was like, do you know he lost like 60 pounds? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I was like, what are you talking? Like, and then he started saying, so we were talking and texting and phoning and whatever. This is brilliant. I'm like, please talk. So Tim, I'm gonna, Bree, do you need to make him spotlight or pin him? I'll let you do maybe that.
Yeah, he is.
Perfect. So I'd love you to give like in the context of this, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I love everything that you're saying and everything that Bree and Susan shared. It's really interesting because I was just thinking through this specific journey of weight loss that I've been on, and thinking about what Dr. Rimpa had just talked about. And she was saying so many times we will announce something and then you get those feel good moments and you stop, right? I can't tell you guys how many times I have started weight loss journeys in the past and announced it like, oh, I lost 15 pounds. Great. I'm going to go for another 80 pounds or whatever it is. And then after I would announce that, off whatever I was on, 2 weeks later, I'm starting to gain back weight, right? And it's like, you're right back to where I was before, but I announced something, right? It's on my Instagram. You can go look at my Instagram and see posts like this from a couple of years ago. And it was so interesting that you mentioned this time, because this journey that I've been on, I didn't announce it this time. It wasn't something I talked about publicly. Most people who were close to me knew, right? But it wasn't something that I was out there just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. I just had felt the pain so hard, get to a point where I was like, this is not the life that I want to live. I looked at my grandparents who were very healthy. My grandma is 94 and still active and walking and doing all sorts of things. And I knew if I continued my life the way I was going, there's no way I would get even near her age. So I had to decide to make a decision. And once you decide, like Stephanie was mentioning, like you will do whatever it takes. There is nothing that is going to get in the way. And that's how it's been for me this time. And I have on my wall in front of me here, it says be, do, have. I'm not going to get all into that, but I love the do, because I always look at them like, I want to be the person that does the things that will then get the results, right? And for me, that has been my journey over this last year. If you look at that picture, the first picture, that was a year ago. And now since I've seen Stephanie, I've lost an additional 15 pounds. So I'm not even out there sharing what my goal is, but I just know that if once you decide and once you do things, it's just like you take off. So
I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for popping on. So this is what I'm going to point out. There's a theme here. Have you seen the theme? None of them waited to feel confident. None of them waited to feel ready. They just acted. And the belief followed. What? What? Yeah. You guys are getting it backwards. So that's what's going on. That is how you actually rewire identity. So that's how you actually wire identity. Now we're going to get into the brain part, because what they did is they rewired their identity, not with affirmations, but with embodied evidence. Embodiment is a term I use a lot, but it matters. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you 3 steps. You're gonna write down step 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna tell you how to get this done. Step 1, this is how you rewire your brain. This is the brain rewire protocol. Okay, Dr. Rimka's brain rewire protocol. Free. Here we go. Step 1, write it down privately. Don't say it, don't post it, don't announce it. You can read it aloud to yourself because that brings in a different part of your neurology. But the most important thing is write it down. This creates cognitive clarity. It requires work when you do that. If you can do it in cursive, it's even better, right? It requires cognitive clarity and external focus. Again, why privately? Because talking about it gives you fake release of dopamine, basically. Your brain thinks you already did it. So your brain loses motivation. But writing it, that's your contract with yourself. It's sacred. It's yours. Keep it quiet. All right? So let's be honest. Tell me in the chat. Have you been talking more than you've been writing? I know I do. So type talker. Talker, talker, talk too much, talk too much. Don't write enough. Okay? There's that. Step 2, visualize correctly. I am a massive fan. This is where Miss McShane comes in, but let me explain it to you a little bit. I have a whole course on this, but I'm going to give you like the bullet points here. Mental rehearsal isn't magic. There's a real term for it. It's called neurological priming, right? Elite athletes are trained to do this. Navy SEALs are required to do it. You visualize, however, not just the outcome, but the effort, the reps, the hard parts, and the recovery. It leads to you feeling the emotion in your body, embodiment, not just your mind. And this is how your vagus nerve, that calming rest digest nerve, gets the message finally. This is safe. We're doing this. Let's get ready. This is why when Brianna told me on the phone she was going to the Philippines, my whole system said, so you want me to go? Let's go. Because I've primed my brain and my body to say, this is safe. We're doing this. I'm ready. Like that. Because I practiced since I was in the 6th grade. All right. You can start now. So I'm going to ask you, have you ever visualized the hard parts? Not just the win? Tell me in the chat. But if you're ready to get it done now, type doing it now. Doing it now. Doing it now. Okay. Step 3. Do it relentlessly. This is the missing link I think you guys don't do. You don't attract from your mind. You attract from your movement. Those 3 stories all had action as the primary thing. It was movement. Okay. Neuroplasticity, changes in neurology, happened through repetition. Identity isn't decided. It's proven. You want to be a top leader? Your nervous system needs evidence, not affirmations. So change your behavior. I don't know what that looks like for you. Do you need to wake up 30 minutes earlier? Do you need to host a training even when no one shows up? Do you need to start doing the things scared, shaky, and imperfect? Because I'm going to tell you, that's what proves to your system I'm safe when I'm in action. So drop in the chat. What's one scary action you're willing to take this week? Type it now. Don't overthink it. What are you going to do? Scary action. What are you going to do? Type it. Type it. Show me. Show me. Show me. Go live. Show me. Get it done. Wake up. Show me what it is. What it is doesn't even matter. It's a matter of how fast can you move? How fast can you act? How fast can you type? How fast can you go? You're overthinking, you're slowing yourself down. I'm going to leave you with this. Well, and we're going to show a video. I'm pretty sure, Brianna, we're going to end up showing this 3-minute video. Hopefully he won't steal all my thunder, but I have been in his mastermind. He has trained me. So I'm going to leave you with this from me. You're not stuck because you're lazy. I'm going to repeat that. Let me repeat myself. You are not lazy. You're stuck because you're dysregulated. You've been trying to think your way into change. But what you need to do is move. You need to move your way into a new truth. Because here's what's the reality. The future version of you isn't sitting around manifesting. She or he is magnetizing through embodied action. That's what everybody has told you. That's what they did, embodied action. So I'm going to ask you, stop saying what you want. Start becoming the person who gets it, who receives it. I'm going to give you two calls to action. I'm going to give you a couple things, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Then Bree will take over. I want you to pick everybody to do this week. Pick one action your nervous system has been avoiding and do it in the next 24 hours. It's got to be fast. Not perfect, just done. One of my favorite quotes from the book, Big Magic, I believe, was, "Done is better than perfect." Changed my life. Then I need you to text or voice clip or call your accountability partner. If you don't have one, you better get one, or your upline leader of some sort. And just tell them, I did the dang thing. I did it. Got it done. Done. Done is better than perfect. Did it. Now, for the serious builders, team leaders or senior managers who think you want to be a team leader, you better start acting like one. So get on board with this one. Team leaders and higher, you better get this done or something like it. You got 48 hours. That's 2 days. Turn this training right now. You better invest, learn, and teach. You better turn this into duplication. You got 3 things I want you to do. Send a group text or voice memo to your team. 1 takeaway from tonight, 1 action you're going to take, and 1 question to activate them. Wake them back up. We can resurrect the dead, I promise you. All right. Could be something like, I'm done announcing my goals. Dr. Rimka dropped some truth bombs, right? I'm just doing the thing. What's one thing you've been trying to manifest that you're ready to embody through action this week instead, right? 2, book a 15-minute Zoom with 1 to 3 people. You can do little small groups that you've been mentoring and walk them through that 3-step brain rewire protocol. Tell them how to do it and make them get it done every day. 3, you could screenshot proof of that, what you've done, drop it in your leader thread, your accountability chat, whatever you may be doing. And I'm going to end with this. I have been choosing a certain song lately in all my walkouts. It's an unusual song. It is nothing. I usually pick a high energy kind of rap, intense song. It's like all this fire energy. But it's been Andra Day, Rise Up, because I've been through some things that have broken me, beaten me, and torn me down. And that's the song that I've chosen. And I'm going to leave you with this. And this is why I've given you this training. This is why Bree asked me to do it. And I hope it was helpful. I hope this makes a difference for you. I hope you do something with it, not just we're entertained. I'm not here for entertainment. I'm here for you to do something. If you don't reach out to your teams, if you don't tell them what we did, if you don't ask them questions, if you don't show them the replay, if you don't lead a training of your own, it's going to lead to nothing's going to happen. Because none of us, we don't rise alone. We rise together. And that's only through reflection, repetition, and yes, regulation. Thank you, Bree. It's been an honor. Appreciate it. Thank you for the time.